What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's fix this mic a little bit. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a little late at night here in the States. This is gonna be a very different style of video. So, posted on my Instagram today that this was gonna be a Trenbolone and Trazadone video. Let me tell you why. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know I started my physique prep 40 weeks out. I am currently under 12 weeks out from Rocket City in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm doing an NPC show. I'm not a natural athlete. I have never claimed to be a natural athlete. I have literally just always told people I take supplements that work. As you guys know, I'm big on Muscle Tech. I literally, if it's an over-the-counter supplement, it's Muscle Tech. But I also take anabolics. Now, with that being said, this video is strictly for entertainment and informational purposes only. I am not a doctor. Do not do what I say. Do not copy what I say. I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm doing for my prep. If you hear bells ringing everywhere, my cats are running around. They're a little more active at night because I don't sleep and I tend to play with them at night. And also, I have fans going. Let's start with, honestly guys, let's get the elephant out of the room. Let's start with Trenbolone. So, Trenbolone is an anabolic steroid, obviously. There's so much shit online on TikTok from fake ass influencers and stuff. You have some good information on YouTube. Like, there's great channels like Mark Lobliner's got a really good channel. Jerry Ward does a lot of synergy stuff, bro style training stuff with his BioS3 training on YouTube. You got people like Greg Doucette that's pretty open about drugs and taking and doing natty and knots and stuff like that. Then you got a bunch of bullshit. To be completely honest with you, you guys just categorize my video with amongst the bullshit. Because this video is strictly from my personal view and preference and experience with the two compounds that we're going to discuss today, which is Trazadone, which is a pharmaceutical prescribed major depressant. It's typically described for it's an antidepressant is what it is. Also, Trenbolone. So when I first started, I remember when I first dabbled with anabolics. This has been back in 2015. Ironically, I was prepping for the same show. My best cycle I've ever done, my favorite cycle of all time, was half a cc of Trenbolone and Anthe and half a cc of testosterone, 400, and they were from Biotech Pharmaceuticals, which ironically, sorry, my cat was trying to eat my Razer headphones. Ironically, that was from Biotech Pharmaceuticals, which, as you guys know, Biotech is owned by Pfizer. Since that's the why I got the Pfizer vaccine, because I took stuff that they've made in the past. You know, perks of them being sketchy pharmaceutical companies. Anyway, I had phenomenal results. Like, I had so phenomenal results with that I literally had a guy come up to me in the gym and was like, "What the fuck are you taking?" And when I told him, he was like, "That makes no sense." You know, I'm a big believer in getting your blood work done. I'm a big believer in, sorry, my laptop timed out. Getting your blood work done regularly, and if you're using anabolic steroids or any kind of PEDs, whether it be peptides, growth hormone, pharmaceutical stimulants like clenbuterol, ephedrine, stuff like that, I highly recommend doing your blood work, or at least keeping track of everything you're taking and do your stuff correctly so you don't fuck yourself up. At the end of the day, I'm not your daddy, I'm not your God, I'm not your wife. I don't give a fuck about you. You do you and be the best version of yourself and be a good human. At the end of the day, nothing else fucking matters as long as you can sleep at night. Ironically, if you're taking Trenbolone, you're not sleeping at night. Anybody and any of these fucking bullshit influencers on TikTok that tell you you feel good when you take Trenbolone is full of shit. And this is just from my perspective because I have taken a lot of Trenbolone since 2015. It's one of my favorite anabolics to take personally. But it's also a double-edged sword. It's absolutely fucking horrible for your health. you feel absolutely awful 97% of your day. You feel fairly decent in the gym to a certain extent, unless you're on a contest prep. You don't feel good on a contest prep. And don't get me wrong, you feel phenomenal in the better. Trenbolone is probably one of the best steroids just for sexual health, personally. As long as you're on it responsibly. It can also fuck up your sex drive if you're not careful with it. With that being said, you will not sleep at night. So right now in my apartment, now this apartment is like maybe not even 200 square feet, to be honest with you. I just rent a studio apartment on the 7th floor in where I live. And I have my AC set to 50. As low as it'll go, I have it set to 50. I also have a big ass 2 fans pointing at me where I sleep on my bed, and I still will have to take a shower before and after I wake up in the morning. And I also have to change clothes and sheets. Like, that's how much Trenbolone makes you sweat. You will not sleep. And for me, I only get an hour and a half to 2 hours of sleep, and when I take Trenbolone, I don't sleep at all. So until I started adding my Trazadone back in, which I'll tell you why in a second, I was down to like maybe an hour of sleep. I literally played Spyro all night the other night and then went to work. Trenbolone messes with you. Like, they're chemicals. We are just fatty bags of water and chemicals, and for those chemicals to do their job, they need water to work correctly. Likewise, if you take a chemical like Trenbolone or an anabolic steroid, it's going to, at the end of the day, bro science version, it's going to amplify every chemical in your body. That includes your emotions. Your emotions are chemicals. And for me, I get really irritated. So Trenbolone is, I can take really high doses, and when I say high doses, I mean the most I've done of Tren is about a gram a week. That was back when I was 260 earlier this year. I don't ever recommend going that high. There's really no need if you get good quality Trenbolone. Sometimes to get big, you just got to have the up the dose, do the most kind of mentality. It's not healthy. It's not correct. But people that's lived a long time, they know sometimes it has its place. For me, on contest prep, I'll post my actual contest protocol here. It's what I'm personally doing. There's a few things that I've left out because it's none of your fucking business, but my main compounds are right here. I'm taking 75 milligrams of a Tren blend. I normally don't do blends, but I've got to where I really like this Tren because where I used to live, I knew a guy that owned his own pharmacy, and he used to make a product called Super Tren, which was literally 150 milligrams of enanthate and 150 milligrams of acetate, and the shit was like, it was almost as dark as this shirt. And he would only come to Alabama like maybe like once every couple of years, you know. Best anabolic ever, in my opinion. You could literally take 25 milligrams of it twice a week and get the same results out of this, what I'm taking with this Tren. This Tren is enanthate, acetate, and hex. I can't pronounce it, but I just call it hex, which is really old school parabolin. And so that whole, it's 150 milligrams per full cc. I'm doing half. I'm doing 75 milligrams, and I take it every 3 days. For me, that's been the sweet spot. I know with acetate, you really need to do it every other day, but honest with you, every 3 days works really good for me. So that's what I do. I'm also taking 25 to 50 milligrams of Trazadone. The reason I started taking the Trazadone is I don't have good mental health, guys. Like, I've had suicidal thoughts before. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me in my life. Like, I've been homeless. I've had some really bad relationships. Divorced, you know. I've been ghosted a few times. Been ghosted by people you wouldn't think would ghost you. That'll really fuck with your head. And I don't have a good mental state, especially for a contest prep, because being so low on calories, like my diet consists of right at 1,700 calories, so like it's very low. I started my prep at 260. I'm down to like 193 fasted. Like, trust me, like I'm dieting hard as a motherfucker. And I have a long way to go. I'll post a photo of me this morning after meal 3. I'm not lean. I don't have abs. I won't have abs until probably 4 weeks out. But I'm getting there, you know. And I recently was going on dates with this girl. She was awesome. She's still awesome. We're still friends and stuff. But we ended up, you know, kind of going our separate ways. Like, it just really, she was a really big introvert. I'm an extrovert. And we still care about each other and stuff. It just wasn't, we just needed to, she didn't really want a date. I don't know what I want. And we just ended up just staying friends. And the only issue with that is when you're on contest prep and you don't think right, you tend to overthink stuff. When you take anabolics, it amplifies that. And you can end up making really poor life decisions when realistically, if you were not on cycle or on a contest prep, you wouldn't have made the same life decisions. You wouldn't have had the same conversations, you know, and a lot of that plays in a role. So if you guys do take anabolics, like, I highly recommend having someone there or keeping a journal to where, like, if you know that you're about to go off the end, that you can literally see it in front of you. Because you taking anabolics not only affects your health, but it affects people around you. And that's the big thing about anabolics that people don't want to talk about. Like, even though I'm taking Trenbolone, it might affect me being irritated, which can affect me comprehending what somebody's saying. And, sorry, top guys. And then I might some stuff might be miscommunications. Like, I might end up getting really sad and upset and then saying something that shouldn't even have been said, and it might piss somebody else off. Like, that's what we all have to realize, that every action you have has a reaction, and same thing with drugs. And don't get me wrong, Trenbolone's a great compound for bodybuilding, but if you're not competing, don't take it. And honest with you, if you are competing, I highly recommend you still don't take it. I started my trend a lot earlier. I have several friends of mine that are doing the same show, and I'm going to tell you why I started earlier. I plan on taking this all the way up until very close to my show. I plan on cutting my Trenbolone out probably around the last week before peak week, just to get rid of a little extra water retention. That's why I'm using the Tren. Likewise, I'll probably stay on my stimulants the entire contest prep, like my clenbuterol. I really like how it makes me feel, especially with me being a foodie. It's been keeping my appetite down, makes me sweat a lot while I train. Really, the only negative thing I can say about clenbuterol is the cramps. The Trazadone's a different story, though. So, Trazadone is really for major depressive disorders. So, like, this is for mentally fucked up people. I fall in that category. You do have to have a prescription for Trazadone, or if you know any MDs that are on Tinder, sometimes they might give you some. They'll ghost you, but then you still have their ball of fucking Trazadone. But I highly recommend getting a prescription for antidepressants if you need them. And let me tell you why. Trenbolone will fuck with your mind. And I know with Trazadone, I was mainly using it to slow my mind down at night because I don't sleep. So I was taking up to the maximum dose, which is 150 milligrams per somebody that weighs roughly around 2 to 220 at the time. It didn't help. It did not help with my sleep at all. It actually, like, if anything, made my sleep worse. Also, the worst part of Trazadone is the morning after. When I say I'm groggy, it's a very weird groggy. Like, I've took Ambien. Ambien doesn't work on me either. Like, I've took 28 or 78 milligrams per my body weight in kilograms of Ambien. Does not work for me. Didn't make me feel like Trazadone, though. Trazadone gives you this really weird migraine to where it's like it's like a floating migraine in the center of your head. It's very weird. It also, like, it takes me a good hour to come to my senses in the morning. The reason I added it back in, though, was because of the Trenbolone. So Trenbolone does make me very irritated. Doesn't make me angry. It makes me irritated. Like little things will irritate me that normally might still irritate me, but they irritate me a little bit more. Well, I noticed I was getting to where I was having more like suicidal thoughts and tendencies, mainly because of the contest prep and just having a bad couple weeks, you know. And like, I mean, it was getting bad. I mean, if you guys follow my contest prep, I mean, I pretty much told the world I was going to blow my fucking brains out. So I had just started taking my Trazadone, I think a day or two before that. And for me, it doesn't help me sleep any and it doesn't calm my mind. But if I stay in that 25 to 50 milligram range, the headache in the morning is tolerable. Like, it's still there, it still fucking sucks, but it's over in like about 45 minutes of waking up. The grogginess only still lasts about an hour, but I noticed that between right around 4 a.m. to roughly 5 p.m., I've been a lot less irritated than normal when I do take it. If I take 50 milligrams, it lasts that long. If I take 25, it's more like 4 a.m. to 12. And for me, I needed to start taking it again. The one bad thing I'll say about Trazadone is if you do come off of it, you might have worse suicidal thoughts. Like you will. Like you'll say something wrong, and then like you'll say something wrong to somebody, and end up apologizing to them, and then you'll end up regretting apologizing to them, and then you'll feel bad, and then you'll be like, damn, I should just fucking die. Like, it's not a perfect drug, but Trenbolone isn't either. What's crazy though is you would think a compound like Tren, right? So Tren amplifies a lot of stuff. You would think that it would just amplify the Trazadone, but for some reason, and this is just my own personal experience taking the two, they synergize very well on a contest prep. Like, I just know the last 2 or 3 days that I've been on my Trazadone, back on my Trazadone, and on my Tren, that even though I'm slightly irritable, it's a lot smaller amount of irritability. So like when I'm taking them together, like, even though I'm irritated, I can still focus enough to make a proper judgment call, or not necessarily a proper one, but a better one than I normally would make fly off the handle. I am a type A personality. I am an Aries. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and if I've done anything to piss anybody off, sorry. You know, I'm emotionally unstable, and that's the main reason I started back on my Trazadone. You know, therapy does not really work for me. I'm in therapy, you know, and that comes to another point. Like, guys on contest prep, like, I highly recommend getting a therapist. It's hard too because, like, it's just the demographic I'm in. I'm a millennial. I'm an elder millennial, but still a millennial. I'm a white male, a divorced white male, pretty much. Like, nobody gives a fuck about our mental health. You know, at the end of the day, you have to do what you need to do to help out with your mental health. Because it's very important. Because it not only affects you personally, but it affects people around you too. And drugs amplify mental health. So, like, if you're already a depressed person, taking anabolics isn't going to make you any less depressed. I hate to break it to you, and I hate to bamboozle all the trend influencers online, but you'll end up killing yourself. And so do not think bad about yourself for trying to get help to get on some antidepressants. You know, and for me, the sweet spot, like I said, has been 25 to 50 milligrams per Trazadone and 75 milligrams of Tren, and I do my Tren shots every 3 days. The Trazadone I'm taking every day. If I feel like I don't necessarily need it, I'm just doing 25 milligrams at night. I also take a few other things with it too. So, like, I take magnesium, I take some ashwagandha. Ashwagandha I've been taking in the morning. But I take the magnesium at night. I take some liquid melatonin to go with it. It seems to work very well. If I take a little liquid melatonin, I find I don't really need the 50 milligrams. I can take 25, and I can take 5 grams, 5 to 10 grams of liquid melatonin, and I'm not going to sleep any better, but my headache's a lot less in the morning. Cause man, that's the worst part about trazodone. Like when you go online and look up the actual side effects for trazodone. Don't get me wrong, it gives you this like it's bad when it gives you almost the same side effects of Trenbolone, but like hypotension, shit like that, constipation, drowsiness, dizziness. I don't really never get any of that shit. I don't get, and then it's got your regular typical FDA bullshit: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, drowsiness, dizziness, tiredness. Tiredness, I definitely agree with. But for me personally, I can't tell you if I'm tired because of the low calories, all the cardio, or the trend, because trend fucks with your endurance. Don't get me wrong, like you'll lift very strong in the gym, but your endurance is trash on trend. So I recommend taking Cardarine. I know a lot of YouTube channels like Plates for More Dates have done videos on it. I take roughly about 20 micrograms of Cardarine, mainly to keep my lipids down when I'm on Trenbolone. But it also really helps out with your cardiovascular endurance, and it's something that if you're competing, I would highly recommend taking Cardarine just for your heart. The only issue is with Cardarine is if you already have pre-existing heart issues, like say if your valves don't work right or if they're damaged, the way Cardarine reacts, they will not heal. I know that from experience. The headache, honestly, this should be like rated to the top because the headache on trazodone is awful. But it's so weird though, because it's like in between a headache and a migraine, but it's like it's floating in the center of your head. You can almost feel the drug fucking with your mind, Dry mouth, not really. Bad taste in mouth, not really. Stuffy nose, constipation. Change in sexual interest and ability. Honest with you, I'm assuming if you're taking it with Trenbolone, you won't have a problem with that. My sexual interest has stayed the same. I have a very poor taste in women. Not really. It's just I tend to go for like bisexual women, cute blondes, Romanian or Bulgarian doctors, some MILFs out there, and honest with you, I should have never let my part-timer Tatum talk me into re-downloading Tinder because I have a bad habit. But I can't vouch for the change in sexual interest. It might just be that I'm just too much of a fucking Aries, and I'm on trend, but I don't know why that's on there. Then it also, this is the dark side of the drugs, guys. This one you should talk to your doctor, but you also should consult your psychiatrist or your therapist if you have one like I do. So, shaking. I can't really comment on the shaking because I'm taking clenbuterol, and if you guys have took clenbuterol, you know that it makes you shake regardless. Nightmares, though. I have very graphic, detailed nightmares, and luckily they have not increased with the trazodone. But if they do, highly, personally, guys, go talk to your doctor, because the nightmares you will get if you're taking a high dose of Tren and you have a bad day and have that day residue left combined with the trazodone, it'll mentally fuck you up to where you'll be like me and you won't sleep. And a lot of people can't sleep. Also, blood in urine. I haven't had any blood in my urine. It can cause that. Also, the Trenbolone can cause that too. So make sure you guys are taking proper liver and organ support when you're on this stuff. Personally, I would recommend getting some acetylocrystalline. It is very hard to find since it is now required a prescription. But a lot of times you can go online and go to like a health or medical spa. They'll ask for your doctor information, and you can deny them that, and then you can still purchase it from them and get it U.S. lab grade made if you live in the States, Shortness of breath, thank God I haven't got that off trazodone, because Trenbolone, man, it's worse when you're bulking and you're trying to use Tren, but when you're I'm cutting now, guys. And if it's not for the cartering, I don't know if I could still do my cardio because I'm so tired and I'm so mentally fatigued. And it's the main reason I had to add the trazodone back. Like I don't know how to tell you guys this, but you guys, like, if you're taking Tren, I'm gonna recommend that you take some trazodone with it, just because it will so help out a lot with the anxiety. It's just you have to be very careful. Like, obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you to take it. I can't tell you to, oh, hey, I need to talk to my doctor to get a prescription for trazodone. And also, like, it's got some pretty nasty side effects too, like chest pain, fainting, irregular heartbeat. I'm on ephedrine, so I have all that shit anyway. It's probably not a good. Like, I have like a deathly cocktail. Like, I'm taking clenbuterol, ephedrine, trazodone, and Tren. Bodybuilding is not a healthy sport, and it's also, I would consider it the most deadly sport. We've had so many great bodybuilders pass in the past year, really since Rich Piana. I mean, after Rich Piana passed, they just started dropping like flies. You know, Mountain Dog passed. There's so many great athletes. You know, it's crazy. Also, this is one of the main reasons I like trazodone, and it's also one of the main reasons if you're on a contest prep, I recommend you take it, especially if you're like me and don't sleep. So trazodone, how it's designed in bro terms, is really to increase serotonin. It in very rare cases, and I only know this because, like I said, I dated an MD before, and she's the one that gave me the trazodone. And she told me to watch out for this when I was taking high doses. It can give you serotonin syndrome toxicity, and it will fucking kill you. And you will know it too, because you will have almost like really fast heartbeat, like panic attack styles. You'll have crazy ass hallucination, loss of coordination. You'll have very crazy dizziness, like really crazy dizziness. Twitching muscles, crazy fever, and restlessness. That's what I just want to warn you guys about. All of those side effects right there, you have to watch out when you're taking trazodone and Tren. Like I said, it's a good combination for me, but it might not be for you, just for the fact that what does Tren do? Well, Tren's going to give you a faster heartbeat. Obviously, it's an anabolic steroid. It's very toxic. It works phenomenal for results, but hallucinations, probably not, unless you're prone to hallucinations and stuff like that. Dizziness, I know guys that get dizzy when they take their Tren shot. Like, if you get a Tren cough and it's bad enough, you will pass out. Like, I have had people I know personally in the past almost think they were fucking dying after taking a shot of Tren. I've never had Tren cough, and I took some really good Tren. Certain people are prone to it. That's just my opinion. Twitching muscles, also have to watch out for those too, because like I said, I am taking clenbuterol, so like I know that like if I take a high enough clenbuterol, like I shake like this, but I don't have any other crazy muscle twitches. When I was taking like 150 milligrams of trazodone, I did have a few, but it wasn't bad. When I added the magnesium in, it kind of went away. It's also one of the few antidepressants that most people aren't allergic to, but if you do take trazodone, the good sign that you are allergic to it is just your typical, like you'll have like a rash, some swelling, some dizziness, and just some hard troubles breathing. So just be careful. It's like anything else, guys. Like, always talk to your doctor, your psychiatrist, your therapist, your hormone therapist, whoever you go to get trazodone. And even though it's prescribed, like I just have like the overview pulled up online. You literally can buy it online. Not saying that's legal, and I don't know how Chewy.com is selling generic 100 milligram fucking tablets of trazodone for $10, but apparently they are at the time of this video. You guys just have to watch it with certain stuff that you take. You know, this is just a this is gonna be a little longer video, guys. So like, I highly recommend you watch all of it. But before you take Trazadone, and this is just from personal experience, because like I said, I've been on Trazadone, on and off Trazadone for a while, and I highly recommend not coming off of it. Every time that I've come off Trazadone, like, guys, I get really, really depressed to the point to where, like, nothing makes you happy anymore. Like, you just feel like an empty fucking shell. But before you take Trazodone, never rely on anything you have to fill out. Whether it's for a COVID vaccine, whether it's for an NPC show, whether it's to get your teeth done at the dentist, you need to be honest with what you take. No matter what it is, no matter if it's legal, illegal, or anything. Because say with Trazodone, if you or your family has a history of bipolar or even suicide attempts, like, you might want to rethink taking this drug. Because when you come off of it, those thoughts might increase, and you might be prone to harsher side effects. Heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease, those are typical with most pharmaceuticals and anabolics. That's the reason getting your blood work done is so important. But also, like, personal or history, like being clumsy and shit like that, you know, you need to definitely double check with your doctor before you take it. Dosages. Dosages are different with Trazodone. It's not like Trenbolone. It's not like, so like, take Tren for just take Tren and Anthe, right? Tren and Anthe is bioavailability is like about what, 5 to 7 days, but the bioactive half-life's roughly 3 days, 3 to 4 days, I think. Completely paraphrasing. If you miss your Tren shot, we all have done it. We've just done more Tren the next time we took our shot. It's not a good thing. It's not going to kill you. You might have really bad night sweats, but Trazodone, do not do it with this drug. If you miss a dose, you take it as soon as you remember that you missed your dose. That's very important because of how it works with your serotonin and anxiety and depression, and it's an antidepressant. That's how it works. However, this is one of those drugs to where you don't want to up the dose. If you're taking a scheduled dose, if you're taking 25 to 50 milligrams, you need to make sure you only take 25 to 50 milligrams for a particular reason, just so you don't overdose on it. Because, you know, even though the serotonin syndrome is very rare, that shit fucking happens, and it will fuck you up, and you will die. And there's nothing they can fucking do about it, from what I've been told. Just to reenact for this video, if you guys need help on a contest prep, don't be afraid to get put on antidepressants. Don't be afraid to find somebody that you can confide into, to talk to. Because it's hard out there. It's 2022. Nobody cares about human rights anymore. Nobody cares about mental health. People blast, like, protest and shit all online, but at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you. They just care about their money that they put in their pocket. You need to focus on yourself, and if you're a competitor, just know that this will be the first show that I step on stage for, but it's not the first show that I've prepped for. And if you've prepped for a show and got to peak week, or the week before peak week, you know how fucked up your mental health can be. And guys, we gotta take care of it. Don't feel bad for getting put on an antidepressant. Don't feel bad for trying to make yourself better. Whether it's with Eastern, Western medicine, whether it's holistic nutrition with your diet, eating for your blood type, or whether it's through a hormone clinic, or whether it's through a psychologist, a shrink, whatever you need. Be the best version of yourself at the end of the day, and do stuff that works for you, because everybody's body's different. I know that's like a layman's term, and it's kind of like a bro sciencey thing, but like for me, I just know that the last 3 days that I've been consistent on my Trenbolone, obviously, because I'm on a schedule for my prep. But when I added the Trazadone back, I did it because I was having some not so good thoughts, and I have a whole bottle. Like I have like 200 tablets of like 50 milligram tabs, and I was like, well, damn. I was like, I guess I should just take these. Like I have them. Like I did good on them when I was on them the last time, so I guess I'll take them now. You know. And also, if you can't take Trazodone, or if you don't want to take Trazodone, there are several drugs that do kind of the same thing. Meprazole, shit, I can't pronounce these. Meratazepam, Biopron, HBR, Quadripon. There's a few others on there. Most of them are to treat anxiety or SAD, and then the first one I said is just to treat depression. But don't be afraid to go to like a Mayo Clinic or a psychologist or anything. And if you can't afford one, don't be afraid to buy a course online or a book on Amazon, like to help get you through your prep. Because even though, like I made the statement on my Instagram today, I'll post it here. I think I did. It might have been in a YouTube video. If not, I won't post anything there. Like if I don't get to the prep, I'm gonna die trying. Like, guys, there's no reason to be dying when you're competing. Like, there's not. Like, take care of yourself, you know. And just for a lot of people that don't compete, that don't understand pharmacology or drugs, or don't understand the sport, just take a breath before, like, you get mad at somebody for over texting you or starting a fight or stuff like that. Like, because, like, you might not know what they're going through, and it's just really important to understand why somebody does stuff. And like, I just know that like the Trazodone really helps me focus for my day. Like, it really cuts down on the amount of irritability that I have, especially on trend. Like, I get so frustrated when I'm on trend, and it's like little shit, especially dealing in retail and dealing with people. Like, it'll make you want to smack a fucking Karen. Like, you'll just want to bitch slap them for no fucking reason. And honest with you, if the Trazodone just gives you a headache for about an hour and you're like, I'm not going to say groggy because it's a weird groggy feeling. It's like almost like slow motion for the first like 30 to 40 minutes when you get up. If you can cope with that and still start your day, by all means take it. You know, this video is just for entertainment and informational purposes only. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to anything I fucking said in this entire video. But that's just what I'm doing for my prep. I hope this video might help some people. But just know that no matter if you're a guy, a girl, or a circle, or a square, or a bro, or a bitch, that you also deserve to have a good mental health, and don't ever feel bad for taking something to make your health better. Your boy's out.